guys! So today I'm going to be doing my November wrap-up. The first book that I read in November was How I Live Now by Meg Rosoff. I actually did a review of this book, so if you are interested in taking a look, I will leave it down in the down bar. Basically, How I Live Now is about a teenage girl named Daisy who moves from New York to the English countryside to live with her cousins. Daisy moves during the time that a war is about to hit England. And this is basically a love story as well as a war story. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I would recommend it. So pick it up if you want. At the same time, it was kind of slow, I'm not gonna lie. So while it wasn't my favorite book in the world, it was good. I didn't enjoy it, but it was good. It doesn't make sense. Does it? The next book that I read in November was City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. This is the 3rd book in the Mortal Instruments series. I really enjoyed this one. I've heard from a lot of people that it is their favorite in the series, and I can definitely understand why. I heard that this was originally where the series was supposed to end and it was supposed to be a trilogy. But for some reason, despite really enjoying this book, I didn't really like the ending. I just felt unsatisfied, and I was really glad that it didn't end there. I'm not going to go into detail about what this book was about because there will be spoilers for those of you who have not read the first 2, but I am seriously considering doing a series review of this series once the final book comes out in May. So if you would be interested in seeing that, please let me know in the comments and I can make that happen. The next book that I read in November was actually a reread for me, and it is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. I think originally I gave it 3 stars, but this time around I gave it 4 stars. For those of you who don't know, which I think are like maybe 1 or 2 of you total. This book centers around a girl named Juliet who has the power to kill people with her touch. And because of an accident that she was in, she's been sent to an insane asylum. From there, she has to face the Reestablishment, which is a corrupt organization that wants to use her ability to do bad, evil, naughty things. Next book that I read is actually on my iPad, so I gotta pull it up. Oh my gosh! Just did an update, and my iBooks is all freakish now. This is madness. Anyway, Destroy Me is a novella told in the perspective of Warner, who is the series villain. This novella is very important. If you've read Shatter Me, you should definitely read it before you pick up Unravel Me. It's really interesting to learn about Warner's point of view, and you kind of find out that he's not such a bad guy. He's not a bad dude, he's just flawed. So stop judging, Juliet. I mean, you have flaws too. You kill people with your touch. Stop judging. But yeah, it was really good, and it really made me amped to read, what's the next one called? Unravel Me, which I will be picking up soon for sure because I want to read it while it's fresh in my brain and while I know all the characters and the settings and where it's just like, you know, in there. So the 5th and final book that I read this month was If I Stay by Gayle Forman. Now, I mentioned what this book was about in a haul that I did of this book recently, and I was really way off apart from the whole car accident thing. I said that it was about a girl who loses her memory and comes back and stuff like that, and I was really off. This book is basically about a young girl named Mia who is in a car accident which kills all of her family except her. It's actually been compared to The Lovely Bones. The only way that I can think that it's kind of similar is the fact that it's told from Mia's perspective as she's like in critical condition from the car accident, and she's watching over her loved ones and her friends while she's kind of like in limbo. But apart from that, I didn't really see any comparisons to Alice Sebold's The Lovely Bones. That book is really high on my list of books. Like, I love that book, so to have someone compare this book to that, I just don't agree. Not to say it wasn't good. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but it wasn't like, whoa. I don't know, from all the praise that I'd read, I was expecting it to be like life-changing or something. But it was still very good, and it was my first Gayle Forman. And I will definitely be reading some more Gayle Forman in the future. And I actually read that there's a sequel to this book, which I don't know if I'll read it or not because I liked the way that it ended. I liked how it kept things open. We'll see, I might read it. So that was all of the books that I read in November. I'm not going to be doing a December TBR because, as I mentioned in my last wrap-up video, I don't want to do a TBR. I felt like this past month in November I did really well with reading. I mean, I read 5 books. 5 books in a month for me is good. That's generally what I average, and I was really happy that I read 5 books. So no TBRs for November, but I will tell you what I'm reading right now. I'm currently reading City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare, and I'm not far into it at all, but I'm excited to read it, and it's quick. It's like the tiniest one out of all the books, so I think I can zoom through this pretty quickly. And I've also really been wanting to read Harry Potter. I feel like during the winter time, that's the perfect time to read Harry Potter, reread Harry Potter in my case. If I do pick up Harry Potter, I will be rereading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix because I haven't reread that one in a long time, and I started rereading them last year and at the beginning of this year. So I need to continue with 5 through 7. Oh, and this month, like wintry reads, like I know I want to read Dash and Lily's Book of Dares because I just hauled that one recently specifically for the purpose to read it in December. And I also want to read Let It Snow by John Green and Maureen Johnson, and I think Lauren Miracle. It's 3 short stories, 3 Christmassy short stories that I got last year and wanted to read before Christmas, and then I didn't end up doing that. So I was like, this year you gotta do it, this year you gotta do it. And I've also really been wanting to read classics. I've really been wanting to read Jane Eyre and Little Women, which are 2 classics that I have but I've never read before, and I just feel like it's a good time to read classics. And Little Women is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of my favorite Christmassy type of movies. I mean, it's not really Christmassy. I mean, a lot of the story takes place during the winter, so it's Christmassy in that way. It's not like festive. It's a really sad movie. Alright guys, so that's pretty much all for this video. Please let me know in the comments below what you read in November. If you read any of the books that I've read, if you liked them, if you didn't like them. Just let's get some discussion going. Let's get some words flowing. Let's get some... That rhymed. It's awesome. Alright, so I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! You're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it. That's what that reminds me of. Oopsies. So, oh my god, I keep making it wiggle.